All right, we are live. Hey, everybody. It is Thursday night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7:02 more specifically. We got RC Hectorius in chat. He seems like a lonely guy in chat. Who else is there?
He's always the first one in there.
He is always the first one. So thank you for that.
It said 17 waiting, so.
Yeah, there we go. We got Rolling Garage. So that's probably Mitch. You know Mitch, right?
I do know Mitch. Mitch is the only guy I know to go ask anything to.
Oh.
I just go, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Help
So-
me.
Right on. So, hey, everybody, this is the RC Drift Talk Show. We've got some different people on the stream tonight. We got Lance, we got Jake, and we got Josh with Harley Designs here. He's our special guest. Lance and Jake have been here before. We're going to talk about kind of a different aspect of drifting today. So kind of like the very front end, like going from everything opposite of drift to your past experiences with drift, and then into your current, like, this is what drift is today for you. So I think it'll be an interesting episode.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Just making sure I've got everything muted. I thought I had an echo for a second. My bad.
No.
I appreciate you inviting me on. It's my, I think it'll be an interesting, it's a real snapshot though, because my most current experience with drift has been, I'm in that very front end of it, like you were saying. So
You haven't had the aha moment yet.
oh yeah, no, I agree. I'm still I really belong on the rocks still. I don't think anybody's mistaking which car I'm driving out on the track when they see me. So
I mean, you got a really good crew over there.
Yeah, honestly.
Like,
getting to go to the rolling garage here in the Sacramento area for the first time. Well, it's been a couple of months now, probably. But wow, there's not a lot of RC things that you can support a standalone building that's all they do. It seems like,
Yep.
Racetracks, even, we're in California, like, you guys are Pacific Northwest, but real estate's expensive. It's hard to keep something like that open, and to see what they're doing, how many people they had rolling through there, and no pun intended. But it was super cool, and it's just glad to have something so nice, so close to me.
for sure.
Yeah, you're super lucky to be able to go drive there whenever you want. So.
Yeah, and it's like, to me, it's just like, oh yeah, there's this cool little spot that's real close, and everyone's like, yeah, we know what that is.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we know that place. Like, oh wow, look at that.
How far away are you from Rolling Garage?
Like 15 minutes if I drive like a responsible person.
Oh, geez.
I mean, geez,
Wow.
I'll take that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no kidding.
I mean,
So-
Jake, you're like, what, 10 minutes away from the track?
Yeah.
Lance is 2 hours and a
Yeah.
half, 2.5, 3. Yeah.
Two, depending on traffic, it can be from 2 to 2.5. But
Yeah.
I'm an hour
Yeah,
and
good thing
20.
for me is I'm only 10 minutes from our local track, and I also have the code to get in, so I can go whenever I want.
Lame.
Even if it's closed, I'll just, whatever, sneak in.
And you have your garage track.
Yeah. Well, no, not anymore. That's gone.
so
Oh.
you got rid of that, and I built mine instead.
Yep.
Yeah.
Garage wing brake is now officially gone.
Yeah, no, it's done. I need to take the Instagram down. We're done.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of us at the shop. I'm in RC full time.
Yeah.
So, but we're rock donkeys normally. So, but a handful of us have started to drift more regularly. So we've got to the point now where like, okay, maybe we should just buy some tiles and put them here in the shop so we can
Oh, geez.
play around during lunch.
yeah.
You know,
You're
All
already
right.
at that point. Okay.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
we have the room some of the time. Oftentimes it ends up needing to be actually utilized for business, but we feel like we could facilitate having an area that, we could have some fun at during the day.
You don't need much.
No, we figured like you could do like a 600 or 800 square foot kind of area
Yeah.
just to,
I mean, that's huge.
That's
Yeah,
a lot.
that's
Yeah.
big.
That's the one I just built was like 300 feet.
I think you should see how bad I am. I need the space.
No.
Yeah,
Well-
sometimes having the space is nice, but also like having a smaller track helps you get good quick because you got to stay within a certain small area. So
Yeah, Rolling Garage has the test square,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they need me to just stay in the square.
yeah, this is your area.
Yeah, like just stay where you can't hurt anybody.
Have you been on the track when there's like a huge train going around?
Yeah, I'm pretty good at being able to just duck out of the way. I know where my outs are at all times.
Okay.
So-
That's good. At least you're kind of self-aware of that. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's really key.
Yeah, you know where you are and where the train is.
Yeah, just making sure that I'm like, okay, this is the long, like Rolling Garage, at least the last setup that was there. I think it's changed a little bit since I've been there last, but there's a long back stretch to a big sweeper. And I know that's my most exposed point. If I screw up too bad there, they're
Yeah.
going to catch me. So,
Yes. Mitch is right. Important beginner skill. Know
Yeah.
where to pull off.
Yep.
so that's, I try and be as good about that as I can. I hate being, I hate being a plug or having to just yell. that I'm-
Oh, we yell all the time.
that I'm
Okay.
parked.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know, that was the first time we went as a group. It was myself, some of my coworkers, a friend of ours from the shop, Vittorio, who's also people I guess know pretty well.
Yeah.
But he was in town, and so we all went down there, and it was just a bunch of us, and we were all being loud and joking around, yelling at each other. I'm like, we probably really seem just like just the rock crawler guys coming
Wrong
in. Like,
people.
oh God, rock crawler guys.
So who was it that actually brought you into Rolling Garage? Because on your stream, you're like, I know this guy, and he's like pretty into drifting. He's somewhat famous there. Who was that?
So I mean, I guess Vittorio was the one who brought us there first.
Okay,
Okay.
that makes sense.
So we
Yeah.
we work with him on the rock crawling side as well.
Yep.
You know, like the Ibach livery that we did on the H10, the kit version, that was just his personal design that we're like, hey, we're going to do this thing. Let's just use it. And he's like, let's go. So,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
yeah, it's RC and the full size world or whatever it's a small world.
Yeah.
So you end up making friends through all these different areas, and we all just want to play with toys. So
Mhm.
it's just the fun opportunities to do things like that. So
Yeah.
that was nice. And of course, Vittorio had good input. When I went with him the very first time, I had an MST FXX, I think.
Womp womp.
Yeah, the front motor one.
Yeah, front
Yeah.
motor. I built it during COVID. During COVID, I was doing a Friday night stream every week, and I was building a new car every week.
Jeez.
And you start running out of kits
Yeah.
to build. Like, you can only build so many TTO2s before you're just like, I never want to build another one again.
Yep.
So I was just buying any kit. For one, back then, you remember, like, finding kits that were just available. Vehicles that were in stock was difficult.
Yeah.
And so that MST was available. I was like, sure, I'll buy it. Bought it, built it, never finished it. Just built it to a roller because it was this live stream. It was just something to do while talking and live streaming.
Mhm.
And then I gave it away to one of my coworkers. And then he finished it and brought it to me. He said, we're going to go drifting. So he did that, and then it sat on a shelf for another year until Vittorio came in town. I'm like, I think that car runs. I guess I'll take it. So, and then after that night, I was just like, okay. And I bought a Yokomo SD 3.0 and I was just like, is this one? Like, is this okay? This okay? He's like, yeah, buy all that. And I'm like, all right, there we go. So then I bought another.
So hold tight. Let's rewind the clock here, right? Because we heard about the FXX, which
Yep.
I have things about that too.
Same. I've also had my shares with that.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Oh wait, this is a room where we've all had an FXX.
We have all.
I actually,
Yeah.
I obviously, well, other than like I had a Sakura D3 back in like maybe 2014.
Yep, that's where we're going.
Yeah.
That was my very first one. And that car was just, with the counter steer days, things like that. I drove that, but like back then we were drifting on either polished concrete, at a trailer, an RV trailer dealership in Kansas City where I lived at the time, or we were driving on the foam track from RCP Tracks, which
like mini Z track.
Like yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Oh,
exactly. Which just really means you go really, really fast.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was about the extent of the drifting I did then, maybe half a dozen times before I, exited out and moved on. But
Yeah, I tried to find those clips.
I think there's still a video on my YouTube of when I was driving that, because I had an orange El Camino body, of course.
Oh yeah, yeah. Why am I not surprised on that?
Right? It's like, so, I had bright orange El Camino body on that thing. And I went back and I looked at one of the videos actually. And I was like, oh my God, how fast we were going around that track. It was more like racing with some oversteer. Like,
Yeah.
Yep. Man, like as far as that scene goes, did you get a hang of like the whole non-gyro aspect of it? Or was it just like always crazy all the time?
I felt like I had a little bit of a hang, but at the time, like there was very little or no, like there was no scene in Kansas City at that time, really. Some of the guys who kind of got that stood up, I think one of the guys' names was Ryan. I think they continued that scene slowly until a larger scene exists now there, if I'm not mistaken. I'm still a member of a number of the Kansas City RC groups, just because Kansas City is still kind of what I call home. But I don't see that as much, of course. But so I felt like I got a little bit of a hang of it. The counter steer thing was weird. I mean, drifting's weird in general, but I don't know. It was just such a different. It was more controllable. I don't know how to say it. I really don't have enough experience to say what I think was any version of experience.
Felt more intuitive, maybe.
I guess so. Something like that, The rear wheel only thing. I remember actually the reason I bought that FXX in 2020 was because I remember at that time MST had come out with like that FXX from like, it was like 2014, 2015, but it was an all aluminum chassis one.
Yep.
And I thought that was the coolest thing in the world, but it was like $600 or something like that. And I was like, that's ridiculous.
Do you remember where you bought yours?
Where I bought? Oh, I do exactly. I bought it direct from RC Mart, back in the day, and the Sakura, and I remember having to pay like $60 in shipping or something like this for this $80 car or whatever it was. It was wild cheap. It came with the Flint tire, the sparking tires.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Never ended up using those, but that was. I remember a number of things about it.
Yeah, I remember buying my FXX like when they just came out, and it wasn't from RC Mart. It wasn't from like any known place. So I was like, did I just get scammed for a little bit of it?
The expensive one?
Yeah, $660.
Hey, look at that. I remember. I never bought it at the time. I didn't stay in drifting long enough. But that was like right at the beginning of like me doing YouTube a little bit more regularly. So, and crawlers were still just my fascination, which they still are. But. So
now let's fast forward, right? Now we're into a world of SD 3.0 and now you've gotten to the point, well, we're in this generation where you can buy a kit, you can build it, and it's going to drift right outside the box, right? A very different generation from the FXX.
Right. Yeah. I just, when I built this 3.0, I just did it exactly to the manual as much. Calipers, is the best I possibly could, exactly how it said in there. I took it into Rolling Garage. Mitch was trying to call my bluff. He's like, I don't know if this setup's exactly right. I'm like, I did it exactly to the manual. He's like, oh, and he like took some measurements. I had the manual with me. He's like, look, okay, that is right. I was like, ha! Only time Only time I've ever felt like I got Mitch at anything. But he adjusted some things to make it work a little bit better, and of course it did immediately. But honestly, the build of the SD 3.0 was really enjoyable. The manual was decent, not the best, but far from like the worst. I've kept every instruction manual to like every kit I've done. I have a huge library of them, just because it's really interesting to look at different styles and things like that, especially since we have to produce our own manuals now as well.
Yokomos are okay. They're not great, but they get the job done.
It's like one of those things, like their print quality is good. Like the lines are defined, the text is good, the views are what could use a little bit of work, views and shading, things like that. But that's
I would say from building a lot of kits, I would say that Vanquish has some really, really good manuals. Like you guys have done a great job on that.
The best kit manual I've ever experienced is one that's odd. Hey, look at that. What's the best manual?
Did you read it?
The Traxxas TRX4 Sport Kit.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Traxxas is not a kit company, obviously, but when they did do it, it was like the most beautifully colored, the clearest I mean, they have such a massive team, so that never surprises me. Like their art team is probably bigger than our entire company, but
they're proofing that thing out.
And it was just like, this is an amazing kit or manual, but that never would have thought.
Unexpected.
Little Smokey, have some patience, buddy. They're on their way.
Well, D1 comes out of Netherlands, yeah?
Yeah. No, sorry, Belgium. Yeah. But the issue was like he had a bunch in stock. They got sent out, and then customs held them up because of some payment not being made that nobody even knew about. They didn't tell anybody, and then they just sent them back. So then he had to submit it and send them all back again. So now he's working on the second wave of all the orders. So, and I'm waiting for my personal one as well. So
okay, Logan actually has a really interesting question.
That is a good one, yeah.
Hi, Logan, by the way. For you, Harley, or Josh, do you think crawling throttle control helped you with drifting?
I don't know. I don't know that it did. I think that the throttle control is so different in drifting. Like the throttle control in crawling is more, I feel like, and maybe as you talk about it, it makes more sense, but like controlling like the inertia of your vehicle, like to make it through an obstacle, like using the weight of it to bump up a ledge, or things along those lines where, like Vittorio, when he was trying to teach me the very first time, he's like, if you want to go out further, you use more throttle. I'm like, how does that make any sense? That's the most like, if you need to, move forward, use less throttle. I'm like, I think you're saying this backwards.
Less is more.
It, I prove how new I look every time I go out there, but I feel like nothing makes sense. Everything is unlearning everything I've ever thought. So I don't know that I came in with any level of talent better than an absolute new person.
Right on. Hold on. Ideal Auto Factory. Yes, you probably did just watch an ad. I'm trying something new. I don't know if I like it because I have no idea where it's going to put those ads in for you. So I think I might stick to my original idea.
Hey, we're trying to make money over here, dude. Watch the ad.
Well, my original idea was to just like not like have the monetization on for the initial stream and then turn it on afterwards. But
for like the recorded one.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Anyways, when did you have like the light switch flip on for you, like for gyro use?
Have you gotten there yet? Yeah.
Not even close.
Not yet.
There's lights are still off over here. I am. Every time I go back, I would feel like I'm starting over. I don't go enough. I don't practice enough. I'm sure. And I think that's part of it. Like I feel like towards the end of the night each time, I start feeling like, okay. And then it's exciting to be able to link
2 corners.
3 corners, maybe, 2 corners. I'm like, oh, that's pretty. 3, I'm like, oh,
we're getting there.
Time to pack it up and go home.
Yeah, that's the thing with drifting. As long as you have a car that can drive, it's a good setup. It's just seat time, just practice, just drive.
Yep. Yeah, that's and I can totally tell that's exactly what it is. And crawling's very similar in that way too. You and I have crawled together.
Yep.
Back in 2019, September 2019.
I was trying to remember what year that was at Squirrel Fest. I can't remember.
That would have been.
I think it was 18 or 19. But,
September of 2019. I think it was September 19th, 2019, actually.
Yeah.
Because I think it was like the day before my brother's birthday, and that year was right before COVID. So yeah. September 19th, 2020, I believe. Up at Squirrel Fest in Grants Pass. That was a blast.
It was.
You had your Ripper then.
Yep.
And I remember we crawled together.
Yeah.
Right before COVID. Jeez.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was a good weekend. That was a really good.
Oh, it was a blast. It was like one of those events we still talk about at work every once in a while because it was just so much fun.
Going out night crawling with the Ripper was great because all of those lights are just so bright. It's like, all right, Jake, you're in the front.
I'm sad I missed those because I came into it right at the last year and I didn't get to go to any of the Squirrel Fests.
Oh, dude, it was unreal. So much fun.
Now it's down at a little bit
Wairika.
Yeah.
They Jefferson State Jamboree, they call it.
Have you gone to that yet?
I've never gone to it. Every single time it's been happening, I have been somewhere else.
Yeah.
This year I was in Kentucky. Normally,
they keep changing the dates every year. It's not consistent. So it's
we went 2 years in a row and we had to leave early both times because of wildfires and literally smoke's coming in and we can see the fire on another ridge. So we're like, no, let's go. And then they decide to move it. And every time, same with us, it's like, oh no, we already got plans that weekend, or it just comes out of nowhere,
Right.
So it's a bummer. That place is amazing though. So much good crawling up there.
Yeah.
So good question from the I'm Too Much. I'm a crawler guy that followed Harley here. What's the best durable drift chassis for someone that doesn't have a local track and will have to resort to parking lots?
Traxxas Fortec, yeah, hands down. 100%. You can do free modifications to the knuckles and adjusting the upper arms to get a little bit more steering, and then if you enjoy it, you can just replace the servo, gyro, motor, ESC and just have fun. Just go bash it. That's what they are. Traxxas are bashers, and that's what it's for.
Yeah, and the body not popping off is a huge plus.
Yep.
We
have 2 of those at the track for rentals that we let people go, and they'll just go 100 miles an hour just straight into a wall. Dude. They'll just bounce off, spin around, and take off again. It's just Jackson. It's a basher.
All 3 of ours have gone through 3 car shows and expo. And not a single issue.
Every time we do it at the car show too.
I killed 1 diff.
Yeah. Well, you run yours a little spicy for people, for little 8-year-olds who just pin it and just do this. Your car is not good.
No, that was too much.
The first time I went to a drift track was Super G. And we stopped in one night and we met some friends there from we met Vittorio there and some of the guys from Mattel. And we were there and Vittorio's like, here, you can try my car, my practice car, which was just like his other, and it was some, I don't know, GRK, something fancy, whatever it was. And I know how much he had to be wincing as I was attempting to drive it and doing so poorly. And then my coworker, Brandon, who drifts better than me sometimes, but that day he bent like one of the aluminum lower arms of this. And Vittorio actually had to go up front and ask the guy from Super G, Nick, do you have this part? He's like, we've never sold one of those, but yes, we do.
That's impressive.
Good.
Vittorio came back out with an RMX RTR, and he's like, try this.
Yeah.
There you go.
This feels different.
Yeah. No, it's the same car. Don't worry about it.
Don't think about it. Just drive.
I was like, I know what we're doing. I know this move. I get it.
Yeah.
Professional drifter's practice car is not a practice car.
Yeah, exactly.
Not even close.
Just the sounds drift cars make and the RPMs that they turn.
Oh yeah.
was wild to me.
Oh, especially Super G, where everything is quite spicy.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Running well over 100,000 RPM at times. You're like, that's a lot.
Real spicy.
I've got this other car here, which is an MD 1.0.
Yep.
And it's AccuVance and all that. And it came from a local guy here named Michael. And it's full Futaba, everything, the whole deal. And Mitch got it all set up for me, so it's got the telemetry on my 10PX. And seeing the RPM on those, I was like, what are these numbers? This is ridiculous.
Crawling is nowhere near.
So it is wild to see feel the difference between platforms. For someone who has so little experience in it, to drive first that FXX, then the SD 3.0, and now this MD 1.0 as well. And just how differently each of you truly can feel that difference between them.
Oh yeah. Every single chassis is different, and it's going to be different for every driver too. There's going to be some people who like certain ones, and some people like different ones. They just click.
I will say that there was a number of aspects of that FXX that I did maybe even prefer.
Spill. Let's hear
it. For some reason, it feels more natural to me to feel that weight over the front end, that front end to feel like the planted part.
Yeah.
I felt a lot more connected to that side of it than I did what the more preferred setup is these days, I think.
Yeah.
Not that I was any better with it. I only drove it one night, maybe two, before I bought. No, I think I drove it one night. And then I built the SD 3.0. I brought it though, and I drove them both. But yeah, the weight over that front end and having it where I could take it around, that felt more natural to me.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, sometimes the weight bias plays a huge role in your preferred setup as well, or driving style. So,
yeah, and not that I have no style. I think that's
well,
that's a style. What are you talking about?
You're still working on it.
Yeah. We'll get there one day.
It's interesting that you say that though, because we keep on tuning our competition cars, all for just predictable handling and being able to get into a drift and nudge up to the person in front of you, right? When you're tandeming. Logan here, his comment, that's for sure something that you see newcomers struggle with, the extreme understeer characteristic that we have.
Yeah.
So yeah, depending on whose car you use, if you try to start my car with the wheels just locked one way, it's a sled. It doesn't go anywhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of drift cars will be like that anyways. You drive with the throttle, you don't really drive with the steering. So,
right, which is so hard to comprehend.
Yeah. Coming from crawling, you're the front's turning faster than the rear. You're like, wait a minute.
Right. I'm I don't know about
front end to steer. No.
I think that the one thing that crawling or just kind of general RC experience has given me is the fact that you can feel your car as you're driving it. You do feel you can feel where the weight is. You can feel this and that, which isn't. I don't think that that's something you can as easily explain to people.
Yes,
who aren't RC people yet. That's no, I can feel that this is It's a weird thing that I guess maybe one day it just clicks on us or something. I don't know when it started or not, but
even coming from bashers, they're not even really going to get that feeling. But it's if you can fine tune your crawler or a drift car or race car or whatever to your settings, that's when it's really going to click and come together.
Yeah, and just starting to feel that connection between your RC and your controllers.
Yeah,
that's great. I love that in crawling. When you can you can see when a front and rear are going to start to bite, and you can feel the chassis kind of stretch and go. It's just, I just haven't 100% got there. I can feel some of those characteristics, but I also just don't know what it should be doing the rest of the time. So still working on that.
Have you driven a D-like LP86 yet?
I don't even know what that is.
Okay. Mitch.
Go find a Mitch question. Mitch, has he driven one? If not, get this man to drive one.
Someone's got to have one down there.
Since we're talking about weight shift, that'll throw some weight around and look really great.
Flops to one side or another, and there's like no power, and it's like basically full throttle and just driving the thing.
Like completely leaned over on one side.
It's just like a low power drift car.
I've seen a couple of people driving around the track with some very like, call it, that squishy suspension look.
Yep.
But I had no idea what they were doing to achieve that, or what what that was all about in general. It looked cool.
Yeah. Weight placement and shocks.
Yeah.
Sure.
Load transferring is what
how much it was moving though. I was like, this has to be like a long travel setup in comparison. It doesn't feel like my car would even have the ability to move that much.
Just think of a noodle. Yeah, pretty much a noodle.
Well, it depends. I mean, the LP86 is designed to do that, but then there's other cars that are just
but it's not all the shocks.
To roll.
It's the same shocks as every other drift car, though.
Yeah.
There was I think it was one of the guys that works at Rolling Garage had like a solid axle, like almost a pan car looking setup.
Yeah. An LP. Yeah.
No, not an LP. That's a different. Yeah, that's like a TT01 base, and then it used a
that one
solid rear axle with a pan hard mount and all that.
Or
trailing, like it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I was just like solid rear axle. Maybe that's where I need to be.
Yeah.
I know a guy that you need to talk to then.
Yeah, I'm a solid axle guy.
Mark, where you at?
Yeah, you could probably build a pretty sick drift car with some of the Vanquish parts, dude.
Use a Vanquish axle.
Yeah, curry rear end.
It's like,
so good.
You think your cars were expensive? Check this out.
I don't know about some of the gearing though.
Just stick an overdrive in it, like I did for the IFS 10.
Man.
Yeah, that's the I do like, but crawling side of things. I love the the individuality, or the fact that you can kind of go build it. You can go build a RC car from raw materials.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Basically, you get a set of axles. You can build a chassis from nothing and all that. Yep. I do like the fact that the drifting side of things has a lot of that individuality as well.
Oh yeah.
I feel like it doesn't quite have the same type that I really, really like, but there's more of it than almost any of the other areas of RC that I've seen in general. That's why I like buggy racing or touring cars, or even a lot of most bashers, I would say, I just don't have nearly the same amount of interest in.
Mm-hmm.
They're all very samey.
You can't really customize it as much and just kind of buy a bunch of parts and make it work. For I think everyone, or at least us three on this stream, that's kind of the most fun in it. Is just building the weirdest 100%. Cars we can. Like, let's mix parts and see what happens.
Like, what can I get out of my bag and make work?
I mean, we used to do the same. Lance and I used to do the same thing with crawling, just start building our own weird stuff. It's like,
I've still got a few of them up there.
Yeah.
So that's the side of things that I really do like. I know the drift. I should never say I know and drift in the same sentence, but I do appreciate getting to go to the track and seeing that, like, the body work and the details that guys put into the body is so either custom or individual. That side of things, it's like Vittorio had his body that had inner structure that was super lightweight, but in there to look like a front bash bar or rear, the venting. Like, all of that stuff was very cool, and that's what I do really enjoy, that side of it. So,
like, every car is different. It's not a bunch of Jeeps that looks very same. It's every single car.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. It's a whole zoo of GR86s out there on the track. Everybody knows who I'm talking about.
There's a lot of that. I see a lot of the GR86 guys.
At least they all look different, though.
Hey, easy.
Freaking Toyotas, man. I have a
best body. It's the best body.
I have a friend coming in town tomorrow, and we're gonna head down to Rolling Garage. He's coming up from LA because he's buying a GR86 up here, a real one, full size. Nice. But then we're gonna go grab some dinner and hit the track. So that's it's just I made fun of him. He sent me the photo of the car today. I was like, Toyota guys. Just
Oh yeah, you're a big Jeep guy. Forgot about that.
I prefer the Jeep.
He's a vet guy. What are you talking about?
That's right. I forgot.
My drift car is a Corvette body.
Forgot that you got an actual vet now.
And I drive an actual C7 as well. So like, I have a clear body that I want to have painted, but I'd like to really have it painted like the right color.
Is that the Traxxas pre-painted one?
Yeah, but I have a clear one as well.
Okay. Yeah.
But
I was wondering how those bodies were.
Other than the fact that the windows aren't clear, that's a bummer. But it's been a good body for me to use as a starter.
Yeah,
quite robust.
Yeah,
Traxxas bodies are pretty good.
Honestly, they are. Traxxas does a really good job with the quality of the bodies, the pulls, the lines are clean, things like that. Yep. I mean, I don't think that I've seen the level of detail in bodies that Drift offers though from these other brands and other people, and the paint jobs I think are beyond amazing in the Drift world. That's wild.
Yeah, some paint jobs are almost as much as chassis.
Oh yeah.
Which I honestly see what some of these guys pay for these drift bodies. The one Vittorio had first when he came up here to drive with us, and I was looking at the paint job. I was like, "How much did you pay for this?" And he told me, "I go, I can't imagine how somebody could do that level of detail for that amount of work." Like, it still seemed like a bargain, even though it was very, very expensive. Just it had water droplets on it that looked 3D and absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So there are other companies, or one specific other company. I think 24K does a vet body as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
RCR was 24K. Yeah.
And it's basically is it copying Matt Field's vet like from FD? Forget.
I think.
I don't know. I don't remember. Skip it. Logan's asking what gen vet is the best gen.
C7. Well, C2 is probably my actual favorite, but that's not reasonable. If I could have any, it would be a C2. But the C7 after that is my favorite. So I've had a C4 and a C7. That's C6 is another pretty good answer, but C7 is my favorite.
Oh geez.
24K is C6.
Oh yeah, Noble. That would be like $9, dude, for us. Noble's in Canada. He's a painter up there. So the American to Canadian rate is like crazy good for us.
Yeah, I would just like somebody to. I'm not a painter. I paint as bad as I drift, but I would really like to just get one of these bodies done for me. So
it'd be like $8,000 for him and like $4 for us.
Yeah.
He'd be living. What color are you gonna paint it, or what color do you want it?
Well, my full size, my actual car, is the Sebring orange, bright orange. So
gotta match it.
I want that, but it's got it's got some good metallic in it. I want that to come in.
Yeah.
So that's we'll get there. I probably need two. I need a beater one.
Yeah.
And a good one, a shelf one.
Yeah.
So
now, do you wear the New Balance shoes?
Listen, I have no problem embracing it. I'm still waiting for jean shorts to be just a little bit more back in style, because jean shorts were the absolute best thing ever. But my wife will not let me be that far off of the acceptable level of age appropriate. So
you got to get the grass stained New Balances though.
I don't even have grass.
Yeah, California guy.
Yeah, I got a concrete backyard, man. Yeah. I do have some grass in the front yard, but the HOA takes care of that, so I don't have to.
Just get them and go walk around in the grass and get them stained up.
I mean, we have airbrushes. We can just do that.
Yeah, right. It's funny because do I have?
Send them to Matt. Scale Builders Guild. He can freaking tune them up.
I don't have my my other car in here, but my crawler. But I when I had first got my Corvette, my friend Hani, he had designed me up a logo that is the New Balance logo, but it says HD instead of NB. And it's nice. Perfect. So it says Harley Designs instead of New Balance, but it's it's perfect. So
Ken, I have no problems with New Balance. It's just the vet stereotype. That's all.
Yep. Jean shorts, New Balance, high white socks, color matched hat. I'm so hooked on the Ultras though that I just have. Once you get used to those, it's hard to go to any other shoe. Otherwise, I do it already.
We're being asked if your C7 is an automatic or a manual.
Listen, don't listen to that gentleman. He's from New Jersey. He can't be trusted. And he drives a FR86 or so.
FR86.
Or
like
wait,
the FRS.
Yeah.
FRS.
Yeah. Okay.
The Scion
the 86 or
the
whatever it is.
Sold by Scion.
I knew where you were going with it. I think
Toyota guys.
Yeah.
So
fanny pack in his cat's name. How dare you?
I do love fanny packs too.
They're perfect when you're crawling, honestly.
I know.
That's when I wear one.
Tactical hip bag, I think is what my friend Matt has deemed them.
I might start wearing one when I go drifting too, so I don't have to leave. All my tools are right there. My batteries.
Batteries, yeah.
Yeah. I already keep my turnbuckle wrench on my radio, so I'm like, I can just easy tune.
I am the crawling side of things was always awesome how long a battery would last you.
Yeah.
You go put a battery in and you go drive for 3 hours.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I've also been super impressed with the battery life of these in drifters now. I don't think I'm running high-end packs at all. I'm running like a Gens Ace. What is this? 130C 4000 pack.
Yeah.
That's the pack. That's the Redline pack. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Redline pack. Yeah. And I've been super. I was like, oh wow, it's good run. I mean, it's long enough for me to hit a bunch of stuff, but I'm just like, oh wow, doing any of the other sides that I've done, bashing or things like that. Yeah. So like, all right, got 25 minutes out of it. Go get 2 more really expensive batteries to put in here.
Yeah, depending on how you drive, the 4000s, they can get 45 to an hour.
Yeah, I think I'm parked up on the side so much that it's at least an hour.
Yeah.
Just waiting for that train to pass and I go back out there.
Yeah, I know how that feels. I bring, I brought 3 batteries to the competition just so that I could like drift after. I didn't even burn through one of them.
Yeah.
That's just because I'm busy doing other stuff.
Yeah, it's still great to get to go, talk in the pits. Rolling Garage is a super nice little pit area.
Yeah.
They also have like some snacks and drinks up front, which is my favorite thing.
Have you had the jerky that they sell?
I have not.
Oh, God, it's so good. Oh my God.
All right.
Yeah, it's so good.
I'm in for that. I had to learn the rules my first time there. They're like, "Did you bring cash for this?" I'm like, "No." Like this part is capped. I'm like, all right. I learned. So had to get it all down, but it's they got such a nice little the shop area. Great. They've had any part that I've ever needed.
Oh, no more.
And snacks. The best.
Apparently no more jerky.
Okay.
That is sad, dude. That stuff is so good.
It sounds like a collab between you and Mark need to happen. Like,
yeah,
that'd be a really cool collab. It'll have some sort of solid axle with probably like some really wacky front end.
Yeah, he built like a half SCX 10 drift car thing. Insane. Favorite Uncrustable.
Grape is the only color. Grape Uncrustables are my favorite thing ever.
Oh, strawberry.
Oh God.
Does that put Jake in the basic mode? Super basic.
Can't be trusted.
That's how I feel about grape people. Anybody likes grape. Artificial grape is the worst.
Artificial grape is one of my favorite flavors of anything.
We always have a box of high chews at the track, and literally the grape is the last flavor to get picked. Nobody wants that.
There is a rest stop outside of Vegas near Prim. It's a terrible truck stop, right? And you go inside, and they have a Skittles machine that is like 3 vending machines wide, and you can pick your exact mix of Skittles.
Oh, geez.
All great. Just empty it.
I want one color. If I can have only grape Skittles, it's the best day ever.
I'd just go lemon on that one.
Lemon and orange are the 2 worst.
God.
No, orange. Orange is the worst. I'll eat lemon. Apparently, we're gonna get really deep into Uncrustables here. Frozen, toasted, or brick oven baked. Why is brick oven baked an option here? What are you doing to your Uncrustables?
Are you talking about Uncrustables? Like what?
So, Axial sent myself and Matt for Scale Builders Guild base camps, right? And it's like, well, we already covered the base camp. It was a new release when they had changed factories and made new colors, whatever. So, like, what are we going to do with these? Matt and I were discussing. We're like, hey, let's turn them into base camp fires. All right. So I built a brick oven pizza oven for the back of my base camp with stainless steel and real miniature bricks and mortar, the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
And then I had a gas-powered stove that was inside the car that was adjustable, and I toasted an Uncrustable right in there.
Oh my
God.
God.
It was amazing.
That's hilarious.
I was like, oh my God, this is actually really, really good.
Yeah.
Funny.
What all flavors of Uncrustables are there? There's grape,
strawberry, hazelnut.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
I heard of that.
Isn't that just Nutella, essentially?
I'm pretty sure I've never had it. I don't think I've ever had Nutella.
It's like hazel. No, what? I don't know.
The only hazelnut thing I've had is coffee creamer, I think.
That's
Matt built the hot dog roller. That's pretty good.
Yeah, Matt put a little stove with a hot dog.
That's pretty easy though. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it was. Mine was quite heavy. I had to lock out the rear suspension. To keep, There's a lot of real brick on
it.
Okay.
That's so good. My gosh.
Hey, chat. Your preferred Uncrustable. Go.
Go.
Oh, there's raspberry too? No, there's only one answer here. Everybody's going to be wrong, though.
Dude, strawberry's winning, dude.
There we go.
Oh, no.
It's looking good. Let's go. I have faith.
Yeah, who knew we were going to get into an Uncrustables battle here?
I'm going to report this. This is ridiculous.
I can derail a chat in a heartbeat. I'm so good at that.
Wow, grape and strawberry tied at 38%.
I'll accept that. That's so funny, man.
Okay. So while we're letting that kind of sit and fester, so when you were building your ST 3.0, we'll reel it back into drift stuff. You originally had like an SPO2 and then like a V4 gyro in there, right? And then a Hobby Wing.
Say those things again. SPO2, that was the servo, right?
Servo and a V4 gyro.
V4, yes.
And a Hobby Wing XT10.
Okay, so that is actually still what I have in there. Now, I have a very expensive set of Futaba pieces here.
Yeah, you listed it off on your stream. So
somewhere. I don't know where they are.
CD700, Futaba Tempe X, GYD 550.
Yeah.
All of those things. That is what I have. But I got to go to the track that day when I got this MD 1.0, right? And it's got stuff. It's got a bunch of stuff.
The Yokomo V4 stuff too.
Yeah. Anyway, I have not looked at putting those things in here because I went there and Mitch did like the cable guy scene while like programming my 10PX.
Yeah.
And And I was just like, I'm not touching this at all until Mitch is like, I have a 30-minute video on this that I just like. This is like, I did all of that 30 minutes in like 14 seconds in front of you. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm not getting into this yet because I'm going to go there and then have to give it back to him and be like, I touched it. Please fix it.
I highly recommend not running the Futaba's servo and gyro just yet. Because it is a rabbit hole. I run it, and I literally every single day I drive 3 or 4 days a week, and I drive with different people. And every time I'm tuning to drive with those people, and so I'm like on my radio adjusting stuff. Okay, and then the next day, same thing. I'm like, it's a rabbit hole. You're always chasing it.
Yeah, and that is. I was just like, maybe I just don't need that yet.
Yeah, no,
not yet. I've been actually pretty. I don't know. This thing still goes around. Seems to do things well enough. It's got the gyro control programmed on there currently, so and I can feel the difference between
less and more
clicking it a little bit around. So that's the extent of what I know. So yes, my very expensive Futaba equipment is in a bin. I think my bin. I'm fairly organized. I have a bin of new electronics, I have a bin of used electronics, and then I have a bunch of other things that are all pretty well done. I think that I put it in the right box.
I don't think it's the bin that I'm talking about. In the bin. If you know, you know.
As long as it doesn't end up in a crawler, we're good.
Yeah, right?
Futaba servo in a crawler.
Yeah, if any of you watch Mighty Car Mods, then you'll get that, I hope. Ideal Auto Factory, who's going to be on the show later on. Not this show, but like a few weeks down. I guess it's a good question to ask now. How much of a professional touch does a beginner need in order to jumpstart in the hobby? Or should it just be personal seat time?
Get your chassis dialed in so that it's actually drivable, and then just seat time it. Just drive it. You don't need a super expensive chassis, all plastic, decent electronics, and then just drive.
Well, I think there's 2 parts to that, right? Because like there's the part where you're learning individually for yourself, like just basic car control.
Yes. Yeah.
And then the other part is actually driving with other people. That way, like you can try and attempt to follow them around the track and like just copy them. To be honest. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I feel like when I went to Rolling Garage, I never tried any of the cars that I've had there before letting those guys fix it.
Okay.
At least like grab my radio, check some things. Like, so I don't know how far off I would have been without their help.
Yeah.
But it's, I don't know. It feels like it is lucky to be out in like an area where I'm at, where the RC scene in general, regardless of genre, is popular. But to have a shop like Rolling Garage that is, they're also just helpful. Like there's not a lot of that intimidation type factor. We walk in, super helpful, super just they'll dive right in. It doesn't feel awkward. So it's one of those resources that is amazing to have, to at least have a little bit of that guidance and then be able to go forward. So.
And that actually is kind of where I want to go too, is like the difference between scenes. Because like in drifting, we like to say that we have a really chill attitude, like a chill vibe with us. How's it for you? Like, I know that you just said that about Rolling Garage, but like coming from crawling scene, like coming from that outside scene.
And I guess how I was referring to it is more like front side of the store, right?
Oh, okay.
The guys that are behind that desk, they're wildly helpful. Super, you can walk in, just feel good. You get to the pit side of things, and it definitely doesn't have that racer feel, like where people are covering their cars, don't want to help you or don't want to do this. It is also friendly and inviting and feels good. Guys there will, if they have some, you don't know if you're getting good or I don't know if I'm getting good or bad information, but I haven't ran into anybody there that was off-putting, or seemed like you were either in their way or shouldn't be there just because you were new. So that was nice. I feel like it's got parallels to crawling in that manner. I've never been to a drift comp. I've been to a ton of crawling competitions.
Yeah.
Competition of any type, I feel like can bring in a little bit of that regardless. So like in crawling scenes, like I think that it's still very helpful, but I'm not saying that I haven't seen guys be slightly less, slightly less helpful or friendly because they were at a comp. Those people suck, but it's it happens. So I do feel like they have similar feels.
I would agree. Yeah. I mean, I would say on the comp aspect, at least for our region, there's not one person that you could walk into or walk up to and ask for a part or advice or whatever. Their setup, they'll tell you even right there, on comp day, and if you have to battle them. I think a lot of places, and even traveling to Rolling Garage and Super G and DGT, I think all those guys are kind of the same way too. So we want good battles. We want just everyone to drive together and have a good time at the end of the day. That's the most important thing.
Even if someone breaks a part or part goes up in falls or whatever, a bunch of people pitch in parts or motors, ESC, whatever, just to get them so they can battle.
As soon as that news gets out that someone's broken or needs something or whatever, everyone's like, okay, I think I have that. Here you go. So it's like everyone's on the hunt.
Yeah.
To get that guy back up and going. So
Logan, are you logged into my account? Because I didn't type that. So that's
jump in between.
A little bit interesting. Calvin has a question in relation to the last one. That leads to a question I had. How often do you guys build a chassis or car and just drive it? No upgrades, no tuning, just set it and forget it. I'm finding I find I'm always tinkering with stuff. I'm that last sentence, no matter what.
I can't leave my crap alone.
All of us, every time we drive, we're changing. So I'm probably the worst.
I think that RC in general for me is that way, regardless of it. I'm in RC for that tinker. Specifically, I love the design and like production of parts, fabrication, even if it's just 3D printing, whatever it is, like that is the side of RC that I enjoy the most. Driving is also fun, but
driving what you built is funner.
Yes. Yeah.
Driving your own designs, that's fun.
Well, honestly, that's the kind of the coolest thing about crawling is because like there's not really a bad. I mean, there's definitely better ways to set up a crawler and worse ways, but like you can build anything and it can still do the job. If it's going to do it good or bad, whatever. But
wildly different, approaches to things. There's guys that have built, 2.5 pound 10th scale comp trucks. And then there's guys that have 40 pound scale trucks.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I love crawling too, because like you can literally build anything out of anything and just go enjoy it and have fun and it's like
I was trying to build the heaviest truck I could at one point.
I remember that one, the TRX.
Got with Jen's Ace, and I said, "What is the biggest battery that you have?"
I remember
that was hilarious.
That was so dumb.
So, how heavy was it?
30 miles of run.
I think the battery was like 6 or 7 pounds.
Jeez,
it's
in a safe.
It's in a safe.
It's in a safe. Yeah, good. That's a good idea.
Let's see.
God.
It's got to be in a safe.
Yeah.
God.
So it's a
that's insane.
It's a 6S 30,000 milliamp.
Yeah.
So
what do they make that battery for?
Ag drones.
Industrial drones.
Okay.
Yeah. They usually run 2 of them. And it was like, I think the battery was like $700.
Yeah.
but think, how many 2S batteries for drifting could you charge off of that?
Oh, right.
Like God.
Field battery.
Yeah, field day all day long.
Yeah. Honestly, you could charge forever off that thing.
Yeah, I can't know. The other thing it's like you could charge this thing at like what?
60.
like 60 amps. Like that's just regular.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a charger that would do
that high. Nope.
No, thank you. That's a bomb.
Yeah, I'm just like,
that's awful.
A ridiculous purchase.
Yes.
But that's the cool thing about crawling is you can do that, or you can make it, the lightest truck ever.
I had taken it to a polling thing, a truck pole.
Yeah.
And it just looked like a stock TRX4 on the outside. And I just drove it up to it, and it hooked it up, and drug it down. What?
Stock.
Well, I love the weird aspects of crawling in that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is one of your favorite trucks that you've built?
I think that the last one that I did, which I called the Rockabilly, because it was the full size vehicle that it was modeled after was called the Rockabilly.
Yeah.
But as of late, I've got into the tube fabrication, TIG welding, things like that is my favorite part.
Yeah.
And I've got into this setup of doing build-alongs where I get a group of people who want to join me during a project, and I share all of my files while we're doing it. So I build templates and fixtures so that they can build a chassis at the exact same time as me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then, share design files for the interiors and all these things. So people can build these cars out of this, like design like the carbon fiber molds for custom body panels and all that. And it's actually been really good for me as far as like the channel goes, because I can, building cars is expensive.
Yeah.
And normally if I was going to try and make YouTube content, I'd build a car that took me 100 or 200 hours if you count CAD work and things like that. And then I'd have to, just do a video on it and then sell it if I wanted to like really get much of an investment back or, recoup it, because YouTube videos don't really pay that much. Right.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. So, but now I'm able to do it in a way that I can recoup it as I'm doing it. And then I can keep the car and have that thing to remember it by. So
that's a cool concept. I like that.
It's worked really well. And I think that, crawling has that ability where you can kind of get into that. And, it's reasonable to say you're going to TIG weld a chassis in crawling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember, I think the last one I really followed pretty close to your builds was the one, I think it was like a Bronco that you built for like nationals. It was like when you started doing carbon fiber molding and all that, I was just like blown away.
Yeah.
That thing was very nice.
The forged carbon, things like that. Oops. Headphones. I really enjoy the carbon fiber side of things, molding my own carbon now and trying to build parts that are unique in that way is awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Logan's asking for your mic setup. Your microphone.
I'm running an Audio Technica AT875R into a Zoom H4n Pro. So that is my current setup.
Yeah. No, Zoom is really, really cool because like a lot of their solutions are really, really compact. Like their field recorders fit in the palm of your hand. It's really cool.
The Zoom that I'm running is a field recorder.
Yeah.
It's the dual input. I'm running it on phantom power to that mic, and it's always just been a setup that I've liked.
Is it just going USB to the computer, or do you have another interface? Oh, that's cool.
I run it USB in, and then I record direct on it when I'm filming for an edited video. That way I have a backup track of audio at all times.
Yes. Yes.
Travis, what side are you getting into, drift or crawling? I'm assuming drift since you're watching this video.
This one. Yeah.
But just answer that. As far as channels go for drifting, though, this one.
I mean, we're here.
FPS.
We're here for fun.
FPS is good. But I mean, like, I don't know if there's really a lot of like great informational videos outside of like Rolling Garage. Yeah.
Ideal Auto Factory.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Just go talk to Mitch.
Yeah.
Like really.
In person is best.
Yeah.
Or if you post your chassis, or if you want to post a chassis on this, I'm sure Mitch will chime in and you can just hear his voice. Boom, roasted.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mitch is like I would love to see Mitch get excited once, just to see what that's like.
He's so monotone. Yeah.
I feel like Mitch's heart rate is just at like 40 at all times.
Yeah.
Logan also bringing up Treadcraft.
Has some great tuning videos. Yep. Yeah, I guess it depends on like what videos you're after for. There you go. Like,
if you're looking for competitions, literally there are so many tracks that are doing competitions. I do a competition. I haven't decided if I'm going to do the IRCDF that series yet.
You got one day to figure it out.
I know, and I got the new streaming thing, like, so we can do the bring the judges' cameras into the stream too.
Nice. Heck yeah.
So yeah, I've got all that ready to go. I just need to decide if I want to go or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, Logan's right. Roadside is a great all-around RC channel, to be honest. Like, he covers so much stuff, and like the whole coverage of the D6, the Sakura D6, has been really, really great on that channel too.
So Hector, if Adam doesn't come up and do it, then we'll just have the track cameras on, so it'll still be live no matter what. But we might not have a chase cam with the full setup that Adam does. So
the coverage side of Drift is fun to watch, to see what the tracks are doing. It is weird to me still a little bit, the like the judging aspect of it, being that there is still still that level of human decision, because I get it. I get why you have to, when I was at Super G for that first, there was like a regional event there. They had people from all over that were competing, and the judges were up on the balcony, watching replays after to see. Like,
it's a very subjective sport.
It is, yeah. It really, really is, and that's the thing. It's a judge sport, so it's like you just got to be as good as you can possibly be, and hope that the judges are on your side with it a lot of the times.
Yeah, that is why that side of it. Like crawling is a judged sport at times, and there is levels of judged decision on when they're going to make a call or not. But there's most of the others that are not. They're just this is the rules, and you just have to have somebody there to enforce them.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you have little differences of like like how much rollback you can have before somebody calls a reverse on you, for example.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's a lot more narrow over window. There's basically you're like you said, you're just enforcing rules is all it is.
Yeah.
Art we got to work on that one.
Yeah, it's just, I guess it's the nature of it. I watch Formula Drift at times as well, and see that it is what it is. So they got to do it as well.
Yep.
Yeah. So there are multiple reposts about, is there a Vanquish Ripper chassis?
Yeah, dude, I'm down. Ripper drift chassis, dude.
Right?
Let's go.
Yeah, back to that solid axle thing, right?
Grab that battery, dude. Holy crap.
Yeah, that's it would be, I feel like
it wouldn't even be the most expensive drift chassis.
No, absolutely not.
It's like the Ripper is probably the most expensive crawler, but it's like it'll not even be close to the most expensive drift car.
Yeah, I mean, it is wild. Just but it is one of those things. Like, I feel like if we said that we thought we were capable of that, it would be something that people would have to think that we were ignorant to think that. It's like one of those, because when you start driving them and you start seeing the differences and the little tweaks that somebody who knows what they're doing can make, and how that will change your car.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know how little you understand until you are with somebody who does.
Yeah.
Yep. Now we do have guys that are much better than me and have very nice cars. My one coworker, Michael, he's got an Overdose.
Bomb.
Dan has a Shibata.
GRK, yeah.
There we go. GRK, GRK Shibata.
Yep.
I've got an SD 3.0. Brandon has an SD 2.0. My other designer, he's got the Associated, whatever that is. DC-10. The vehicle with the worst manual I've seen in an RC release.
Dude,
maybe ever.
Horrible.
I was just like, what is this manual? This is hot garbage.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just buggy racers trying to drift stuff.
Yeah. I was just like, I don't know what this is, man, but whoever did this manual absolutely does not know what they're doing.
It was bad. You've got a good spread of chassis though. It's not a lot of sames. It's not like everyone went and got an RMX. It's
right.
Got a really good spread.
Dan had an RMX first, RDX.
Yeah,
RDX. Right. That's the plastic, fantastic thing.
That's a great chassis though. Just go and drive it.
Yep, he had that and drove it for quite a bit. I drove it a little bit, and surprise, I was just like, I don't know.
Was this so good?
And then he built a 3.0 right after I built my 3.0. So we had, and they felt very similar to drive next to each other. And then from there it's the other ones that I discussed. But
yeah.
So Mark has a question for you. Do you think portals can handle enough RPM for drifting?
No,
I guess it depends on which way. Let's start doing some reverse portals. All right, we'll gear them up. Let's go there.
You're gonna have to, yes.
Like you've heard burn tunes. We're going burn tunes plus.
Yeah.
We got quick change portal gear sets now.
Oh my God.
We'll speed those things up. We'll get this going. Yeah. So normally we're looking at the other way, but I think we got an opportunity
here. Yeah. Oh my God. Polar opposites.
Now we can put.
You want that high center of gravity? We'll put portal axles on.
Put rocks on the track. Holy crap, dude! Yeah, we're really mixing.
Right, like
where's the
outdoor chassis all day long?
Yeah.
What portal gears are you running? Like the new upcoming question of what's your FDR?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, that was the other thing I was so surprised about, is hearing what the final drive on some of these cars was. I was like, oh, that's not a lot of gearing.
No,
that's impressive.
Yep.
Because less is more.
Yeah, and then hearing some of those motors and the RPMs they were turning, and I'd heard like burn tunes being outlawed and things like that, or disallowed at tracks here and there.
Frowned
on, sure.
Yeah.
However, and hearing those cars when they're on that and just melting a set of tires, like, wow, that's a little much.
You can hear it because like it'll just like be like a super high screaming pitch, and then the car will just like bog down and then just take off like immediately, like 3 car lengths on the carb chasing them. So, yeah. I used to be part of that club.
And it's like we're not talking about low voltage cutoff here. It's like
no. We're straight melting.
Yeah, super wild. Just the sound of a drift track is something like I had never heard.
Yeah,
it is very.
There's times where I'm just like, I gotta go outside.
You gotta get outside.
Like,
yeah, a bit of that. It gets a bit piercing.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah. When I get home after like a long night, we stay till like midnight, 1 a.m. I get home and I'm just dead. I'm like just so physically, mentally exhausted.
Oh, I'll leave rolling garage and I'm just no radio on, windows down. Like I need something here.
Fresh air and silence.
Yeah.
So that's
that's a good idea, dude.
VS410
can it drift? I like that. I like that a lot.
That's a good challenge.
Sequel to the speed challenge. Oh man,
you guys get your votes in. It's
that'd be good.
58% great. 58% strawberry in the lead right now.
This is absolute horseshit. New drifters didn't have any taste.
Oh boy!
If I run anything real driving, it'll drift. Yeah,
but we get about 50 degrees of steering on some of the axles. I don't think that's quite enough.
No.
I'm all for machining something though. Let's go.
That would be. Oh my god, that'd be so funny.
Dow is in the chat. Aim to be a part of the Strawberry Gang. Okay.
Heck yeah.
All right. Okay. I don't even know where to go right now. Let's actually switch over to your chassis. We'll do that.
Yeah. All right.
So I've got the pictures in Roast My Rig in the Discord here. I'll go ahead and bring them up. Maybe. Oh, I can do this thing.
Did you take a picture of your workbench? We gotta roast that too.
Oh,
it's kind of part of the picture.
It is the YouTube workbench. In the V from the camera, clean.
Yeah, everything else is disaster.
Past that though, no. It is something.
I feel that. Like, I was trying to clean my office today, and man, it didn't quite work out.
Yeah, that's. I moved in January. We just bought a new house here, and getting the YouTube studio set up has been some. It's not there yet. It's far from there, but it feels just too empty right now. So I need to get that fixed.
Okay, so I blame Instagram for the lack of quality of these pictures.
Yeah, I'm actually, you know what? That's going to be to my advantage. So I'm pretty happy. So, but the thing is that you're starting with the one that I had zero to do with. This is the MD 1.0 that came from a local here, Michael.
We're roasting somebody else.
And I believe Mitch wired this. If I'm not mistaken, I think he said that. So I actually, there's no credit or insult that would actually get to me on this one.
Although now that you've seen this chassis, because this chassis has a completely different idea.
So wild different. The touring car style, like the carbon arms and the difference in the pivot style.
You got
wild. Absolutely wild. So I do enjoy seeing the engineering in the drift cars. That is something that has been super fun to look at, especially the differences like the ones that we have around the shop. And just to I love that you can have a different approach and two cars can be on the track. Where if you're in buggy racing or whatever, it's just like, you better be running a B7 or like whatever. Yeah. I don't know, but
whatever the newest one is.
That is my absolute favorite part about the drifting side.
Mitch's solders are unroastable.
Now you have to go to the one that I did, and I can explain myself as well. Okay.
What is that? It's awesome.
What's that?
So lost on that thing?
I skipped that. Well, we'll come back to it. We'll come back to it.
Come back to that.
So that's the SD 3.0. It's got the Traxxas body on top. I'm a C7 guy, so C7 body is what I'm running. From the outside, things are going to look okay.
I'm still kind of amazed that this is a Traxxas body. Like, it doesn't. It's weird.
Pre-decaled. Yeah. Obviously, it's sitting on a block there, so the wheels are drooped out. I set it wherever Mitch told me to for ride height. I don't know. But so when it's sitting properly, the wheel gaps look pretty good. Seeing the wheel gaps like that, I do not like.
Okay, let's get into it.
Yep, let's do it.
Whoa.
So let me explain. First of all, it's got a bumper on the front. Now, that was because I needed a 3D scanning project for that day. Mm-hmm. So big into CAD. So I 3D scanned the inside of this body, and then I did it in a video, but I also had to do it for some instructional stuff that I was doing at the time. And I'm using the forms tool to form fit surfaces to a 3D scanned body to actually be able to take data from, consumer level 3D scanners and actually build from it. And also, I hit shit a lot, so I'm trying to save the front of this body.
Yeah.
And it's worked out really well. That's all TPU. It's very flexible.
Okay.
It moves quite well. It gets into the front body posts there. But it's also saved me from cracking those wheel arches, which I immediately did on the body I had on that FXX.
Yeah.
So this body now looks pretty decent still. One thing I can explain myself about is that XT60 situation with the bullet plugs going on back there.
Oh.
That's not all. He's an air receiver as well.
Yeah.
I noticed that. I thought it was going crazy for a minute. That's not
yeah, that is an air receiver. I have so many of these because you can run an air receiver on a Futaba radio.
I use those in my crawlers. Yeah, they're perfect.
Crawling, these are the best.
Yes, they're cheap. They work. It's like,
exactly. So that is what is in there. I did not have that situation going on with the battery initially, but I bought the rear ESC mount from Rolling Garage when I was there the last time.
Yeah.
So I threw that on, and then my wires became too short, and I was trying to go to the track, and I did it 2 hours before I was leaving, so I made an adapter to those bullet plugs.
Here's a fix. Yep.
So
it works.
It's hacky though, but it worked. And then the exhaust side. Well, for one, it's exhaust, right? But the Traxxas body has an area that had a sticker for the exhaust, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I made that setup, which sits properly through the back of it, like a C7 actually does. But more importantly, the reasoning behind it was that I had just received my new Bamboo H2D. So I was able to print the black portion out of PETG carbon fiber, and then the portion between that and the next part of the gray is TPU. So
squishes,
and it's interlaced in the print. So it's a one-piece print that has the flexible filament in it, and then the exhaust tips bolt on separately.
That's cool.
That's
cool.
Very creative.
That's pretty rad.
Yeah. The other problem was with this body is that when I was constantly sliding into the rails with the back, it just has the perfect amount of ramp that it would just go up and over and then catch in the wheel well.
Yeah.
And I was constantly sweet going over there, and someone flipped my stuff off. This stopped that. So now it does bend out of the way, but it does not go up and over the over the rail anymore.
That's creative.
There you go.
So, but I needed a project to run the dual material through the H2D for a video. So, and that worked out really well. I really enjoyed how that worked. And then I think the one that I have on here now, which is actually that's the one that's in that photo because I took it 15 minutes ago. But this I printed with a single wall thickness PETG as a second one because the actual TPU one that I printed first was almost too flexible. Mm-hmm. And I could have tuned the spring design that I did. It was just a one-shot wonder of see how this design works. And actually the single wall PETG is still flexible, but rigid enough that it keeps the body from wanting to pop up and over.
Nice.
That question, that last one that just popped up in the chat, that would be my question that I would like to know more of.
The printer of choice?
Oh, sorry. No, it was from
Christian.
PMB. Do drift guys CAD fab design their own custom stuff?
Some.
Yeah, it depends.
Yeah.
I think you're looking at 2 up in the top corners there.
Lance does a little bit. Yep.
Yeah, I do a lot of that. But that was another question is, are you finding new interesting ways to do design in the drift stuff? Creative problems for the bumper and the exhaust that you don't find in crawling.
So I guess the things like those 2 projects there were such a basic adaptation of the stuff that I would normally do for crawling. I'm big into 3D scanning. So 3D scanning a body to do something form fit and match to a chassis is a quick exercise. Same with that rear exhaust. That was I needed to do something quick. That was like a 30-minute design and then an hour of printing. So I haven't yet got to get into something that I felt was like a good new design exercise. And I don't know what that would be yet, because I also know that I don't know what I'm affecting.
Yeah.
So, I'm not going to go design my own chassis for these, because I would likely just be going 10 steps backwards.
You think? Just wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Logan's asking, what is your printer of choice?
So Bamboos are my printers of choice right now. The X1C is next to me here, and the H2D is down in the garage. When I first got the H2D, I would say that the X1C was my printer of choice for a while. It was just more reliable. It was just doing exactly what I wanted. But now that I've had it for a couple months or so, they've made some improvements, and now that H2D is absolutely my printer of choice. Some of the things that it's added and some of the things that they've like changed a little bit here and there as it's gone has been pretty amazing. But it's so big, like it's massive, and also it's a huge thing, and it's got a heated chamber now. So if I didn't have it down in the garage, I don't know how good of a fit. Like, I feel like it would heat up this whole room by 10 or 15 degrees.
Oh, geez.
Oh,
yeah.
Like, it puts off so much heat especially if you're doing like an engineering grade material in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild. But right now I've had both printers running pretty much nonstop for like, I don't know, 15 days now, with a few different projects. Two of I've been kind of showing like on Instagram and stuff. One has been like a tooling cart that I've been doing like a Gridfinity system for YouTube Shorts mainly. And then the other is a 8.5 scale skid loader project.
Yep.
And then I've been printing some stuff for a project outside of YouTube here for the rest of that time. So they've just been cranking along. I've been like modifying my sleep schedule to make sure I could get maximum efficiency.
Oh, jeez.
Like, when is this going to be done?
Yeah.
I have this many hours to sleep.
Yeah.
If I do that, it's like, okay, if I get up then, I can get it started before I leave work in enough time that it will be done when I can get home, and then get another one on it right away, and then I can start one more before I have to go to bed.
Yeah.
So
maximizing all your time.
Yeah.
But not enough so that I need like an automated system or a robot yet. So
Yeah. Mile High wants to know what scanner you're using.
Yep.
Oh God, I think I'm up to like 10.
You have a new one.
I think I have like 10 3D
one.
scanners right now. And
Jesus.
Here's the new one. So the new one that I got is the Raptor Pro, the Creality Raptor Pro. It's the first one that I've had with the visible blue light laser stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the one that I'm working on here now, trying to get get a full handle on and figure out exactly how well I think it's going to work. So far, I think it's going to work really well, but I haven't got through all of the things that I'd like to test. That one excluded, because that's an expensive scanner. That's like a $1,500 or $1,600 scanner. The Revo Point Pop 3 has by far been my most favorite. I think that the software is a lot of what makes these scanners good. And Revo Point software has been the best for me. That's a Creality. I'm hoping that this scanner will do more with some of the things they're adding, and that their software is improved. But the Revo Point software, I had the Ferret. Was the Ferret from them? No, that was from, I think maybe it was the Inspire from Revo Point, which was their less expensive one. And it worked pretty close to as good as the Pop 3. Just not quite, but it was only like a few $100 or something like that. I think the biggest thing with 3D scanning is that it's a it's a bit of a farce how they advertise them. Surprise that, people expect to be able to just scan something, then you're just going to like send it to a 3D printer. And
what about all the smoothing and all the design?
Or just holes and smoothing and things like that. Or it's just like one of the things of like, okay, you scan it. What is your plan? What do you want to do with it? Are you just going to like just 3D print a slightly shittier resolution version of it? Like what's your real plan? I think that they are doing a really good job at marketing 3D scanners, and not just to sell them, not to actually get good user experiences, and that to get them in the right people's hands.
Yeah, it's a good reference tool, but it requires a lot of work.
Yeah, and I absolutely love it, but I feel like it's for such a small. It's like you got to be available to invest in it, then have the patience to learn it, and then you have to be good enough at CAD to use the data and go from there. So
it's a small niche.
It just keeps drilling down into a smaller and smaller audience.
Yeah.
But it's an amazing tool how far it's come in the last 5 years.
Okay. So Quinn, Vanquish McPherson Strut. I can't say it. McPherson Strut front chassis.
No. I've done the Rhino Max.
Yeah, it's already been done.
But wait,
it doesn't work.
It keeps on coming here. Then we have, crap, I lost it. VP Leaf Sprung drift car.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm leaving immediately.
That's Matt's thing, is the leaf springs.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so bad.
Get those leaf springs away from me. God. You could only run a brushed motor in a leaf sprung drift chassis. That should be a rule. And NiCad batteries.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So,
oh God.
Hey.
We're going old school. Get your crystals. Who's on purple?
Yeah, right.
Sounds like Mitch has some 3D printing ideas.
Hey, I'm here for it. You need some 3D scanning, printing, designing done. I love it. It's my favorite thing.
Right on.
So yeah, that's that side of that's the one thing, like getting to look into drifting, be like, okay, I can still do some of the things that I really love in this, and it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
So
good.
The real fun starts though when you actually can like keep up with the group of people and just slowly improve from there.
I've got like a taste of that a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Crawling, drifting with other people who are like also not very good, like my coworkers.
Yeah.
Like being able to stay with, and also like I don't mind if I just absolutely ram the shit out of them. It's like, I'm like,
it's gonna happen.
Yeah, like that's fine. I'll see you on Monday, and I'll say way worse things to you. But, so, and like when you get to do that, you're like, that was fun.
Yeah,
that was very fun.
Well, it's also, I'm glad that your coworkers are doing it at the same time as you. It's nice to have a group of people that get into it at the same time, so you guys can all rise up and do it together and get good kit together. So that's how a handful of us did it. So
it was. I don't know if any of you guys tried the drag racing stuff at all when that was popular.
I wanted to, but I was like, I'm gonna wait and see if this sticks around.
And I'm such a huge drag racing fan in the full size world, right?
Yeah.
That I was just like, okay, this is gonna be awesome, and did a little bit of it. It was nice as well because at first, like that scene, probably I would say even maybe more than drifting, like it had the ability for like the design side of things and fabrication to be an absolute possibility.
Yeah.
But then everything else about it was the worst.
Yeah.
So it was just like, okay.
Major competition.
It was the epitome of the covering your stuff and doing this and people arguing and
I've heard of like just yeah.
I've never seen a scene crash so fast.
Yeah,
it did. Grow and crash as fast as that.
I've never seen something like it.
I don't think anything can ever or will ever top that.
And it was also, it was a bit of a perfect storm. It was, COVID. So people were able to do it. It was something new. It was, again, it was just perfect storm. And I don't think replicating that rise and fall will be hard to ever see again.
Yeah. That's why I waited, because I saw it growing so fast, and I was like, I don't know. I'm gonna wait this one out. Right. I really like drag racing too, and I wanted to get one. Me and a buddy, he lives in Oklahoma now, but we talked about splitting one and doing it, and then we're just like, let's wait, and then we're glad we did, because it crashed so fast.
And I do know that drag racing is still going.
Yes,
but it's still going in the way that like comp crawling is still going in the scene, like in the way of not like scale comp stuff, but like the robot or MLA, whatever you want to call it, comp crawling. Like it's still going, but like not really. Like it doesn't support an effort from major brands. Like that's how you kind of, the drag racing scene, like it stopped making money in the big picture really quickly.
Wow.
It's Horizon and Associated getting stuck with thousands of drag racing, RTRs. It's like, and, it's like, because you talk to a drag racer and they're like, well, yeah, it's because they came out with this. I'm like, it's because you guys' scene changed, 360 degrees
within
the life cycle of a project. Like, you're not going to continue to get support from big companies when this is the way.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Similar to FPV drones and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, buggy racing is very similar to that too, but it's crazy.
Yeah.
Once something new comes out, the old is just, it's trash. You can never win with that again, and you're a terrible driver for even driving it.
Right. It is wild that the big companies are still the ones that can make that. They can drop the new one though. Yeah. And it's not these little companies that are changing. So
So
it was wild to see the pots in drag racing, if anything.
Oh my god!
Yeah, right.
$50,000 cash prize
for a freaking RC car, dude. I'm like, geez.
Yep.
Oh,
watch the guy being like, I renovated my kitchen with what I won in RC drag.
Yeah, that's the one where you can like actually like tell your wife like, no, trust me.
Yeah,
I gotta make it big.
I got hit with a drag car in the rib cage at like 70 miles an hour when it went airborne and just.
Wow.
Yeah. That's another thing too, like how those things are basically written off when they wreck, huh?
Yeah.
Oh my, I mean, it depends, right? I mean, some of them they can just go airborne, it's fine, but those guys were running 68 miles an hour and 128 feet, and that was fast. And now they're like, oh yeah, no, we do like 98 now, and in 1.2 seconds. It's
my god. How do you even see that to control it? Like, just squeeze the throttle and hope you got it right. Like,
that's just point it in the direction and hit it right.
Yeah.
So crazy.
So let's do one last question, and then we'll kind of flip it over to roast my rig. But Christian is asking, have you got to a point where you think, what else can I design that's different? If so, how do you manage it?
I mean, anything.
I think anything.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, as it applies to drifting, not necessarily, because I'm embracing my ignorance on that side. But like, I think that's kind of a question that you can use any day for any project, right? And there's always a way, because it designing is like drawing or art in a way that everybody's got a different approach or a different eye, how things go. It's one of those things that I've been doing product design for a long time in RC, as a profession, or even when it wasn't my full-time job, I'd been designing for a lot of years. And the question, or the thing that it would really bug me, and I have a different outlook at things these days, but like when I first started and somebody would make a part that looked nearly exactly like mine, and they'd be like, oh, there's only so many ways you can do this. I'm like, that's bullshit, because that's not true at all. Yeah. Like, like even if you end up with almost the same points, just like making it look like that, no, it's either just being lazy, or being, just copying a design. So I feel like there's always a different way. It doesn't have to be better, but it could be different, so I think that's always the case, and I think that you should always look at it that way, But these days, I have a lot thicker skin, I guess, in some ways than I did when I was a 20-year-old idiot. But
you just picked me.
It's like I'm just like, yeah, that's people suck. Move on, do another. And I look back at, I hate almost everything that I've done 6 months ago. Like I'm constantly just like, oh God, that was awful. What did I do? Like I can't watch an old video of mine and just be like, oh my God, I sound like an idiot. I just mean YouTube comments. I'm pretty good at laughing off these days. I'm like, I agree. Like,
yeah. What was I thinking?
All right, let's switch it. So, Josh, I'd like you to welcome you to this roast my rig section here. Ooh. So if you see any problems, if you see anything that needs a little bit of criticism,
can I make this larger? How do I? There's that pin thing you were talking about.
Oh yeah. So what do we have here? This is coming from the Big Lefty 40. Looks like a GRK. Lance, can you confirm?
Yep. Yeah, that's one of mine. Oh God, is that
much more? It's a much more Fleta.
It's Ben, isn't it? Down in Twisted.
Oh, I thought that's CEO Slow.
Wait, no, maybe not. Oh God, I don't remember. Maybe it's just a normal GRK.
It's not Ben's. Oh God, I feel like an asshole now. Oh my God.
No,
Judd sold him this chassis.
Is that a counterweight on that side?
Yes, because the motor is offset like a PTO2. Yeah,
gotcha. Yep.
Wait,
why are the nuts different colors?
Yeah.
What's going on there? Unacceptable. Let's see.
I don't remember.
I don't.
No, that's mine. That's one of the midnight ones. I just don't remember.
That was Judd's deck. He sold it. I just don't remember the guy's name.
Yeah, me either.
I feel like that's all right now.
With the Pikachu. He's got the Pikachu.
No, that's Ben.
No,
that's Ben. I don't like blue wires. That's pretty bad.
The blue. Oh, is it blue wires?
This
is it purple.
I'm curious if this is my gyro that I sold, like while I was down there. Or shoot, I don't remember where I sold it. Yeah, I had one of those. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, definitely.
It's such a sick chassis. Otherwise.
Okay, MD1.
Another MD1, yeah.
Yeah, lots of red.
I like the fan. You guys and your high speed fans and velocity stacks always makes me.
You got to cool a motor down with all those RPMs.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
I like my velocity stacks. Thank you very much.
Well, yours are all silly, so yeah.
I will say that the different methods of battery retention in drifters has
it's all over the place.
Sparked my curiosity, and I definitely do not like the SD 3.0's method.
No.
Yeah. No.
I've spent a lot of time trying to come up with a good, simple battery holder that doesn't piss me off or stab me.
Yeah, like that's definitely on my list, is just to redo the battery compartment, because this one sucks.
Yeah.
What is that behind or in front of the battery there on the? Yeah, that.
It's a Christmas tree.
Look at all those wires. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know that drifting has a power distribution board?
Yeah.
PDBs? Really?
Yeah.
I know that the first time I went to Super G and I picked up Vittorio's car, I was like, what is this? Like, it's a capacitor. I go, what are all these? He goes, those are capacitors. I was like, what? Yeah. It's like, what do you have?
All capacitors for everything.
Like, why do you have 7 capacitors?
Yeah.
He's just like, hey. Yeah.
Have you, well, okay. You don't have, put a voltmeter on your car and watch how fast the battery drops in voltage when you're on throttle.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it's nasty.
So, I come from the stereo scene in
full
size, so
Yep.
the I love me some voltage. Voltage drops the devil.
Okay, we got Justin.
Ooh, the new kaiju.
What is this?
So welcome.
It's the new one.
Yeah,
it's a whole new deck that is like
wild shape.
Any way you want, any rear end, front end.
Yeah.
Oh, so like you're able to change the front versus rear style.
Yeah,
it is Lego deck.
Any combination. You could use like your MD1 front end or the RDX rear end and all sorts of different things.
Yep.
Also, this difference, the range of styles of the steering racks and stuff is wild.
Yeah. This is a direct drive setup, so the servo just hangs basically.
And then you just have 2 links.
Yeah, just go straight to the servo horn. Yeah.
Got ya.
Yeah. That's probably the most common steering setup today.
Right.
Direct drive.
Really?
Yeah, it's very, very common.
You think it's common? Like to the point where it's like the general steering rack?
No,
it's becoming the preferred.
It's becoming the preferred. But obviously, kits are obviously not doing it. You know, big manufacturers yet. So we'll see.
Well, I mean, not this style, right? Yusakani's been doing it for years.
Well, yeah.
I have their tuk-tuk.
You still have it?
Oh yeah.
Nice. Heck yeah.
Yeah. I have mine. I have the full. I have the tuk-tuk version, not the delivery van. But I love a 3-wheeler.
I need to build it.
Hilarious. Yeah.
I should have just given you mine, Lance, so you can build it.
Yeah, you should have, because it's just going to live in your fucking attic for a year.
Yeah. Yes.
Can we roast people's desk more than the car? Because I can.
Absolutely.
Oh, we can.
New mouse pad.
Workbench.
There is a section called Roast My Workbench. Question in chat: DDSS, slide rack, or wiper? Choose either. Honestly, you can make any of them work. Like,
they all work. It's just
I prefer direct drive. It's just easier to set up, easier to make adjustments.
Yep.
Yeah. Just slide the servo forward and back.
Less slop in your steering.
Yeah, that's another one too.
Less linkages.
Yep.
I could definitely see that. Are you guys running like a specialty servo horn for the direct drive then?
Yeah.
Each one is kind of different.
Yeah.
Which also kind of is a negative thing too, because since they're so large, it's extra torque on that servo that needs to be put out. I think
but then you're also taking away the mass of the either the wiper or the rack, so it's got to be some sort of a wash in there.
Okay.
Granted,
I still find the Kaiju to be very ugly aesthetically.
Now, why does this motor have a sensor port on the bottom and on the side?
That's just how that motor is.
What is the motor?
For wiring.
That's an AccuVance.
Yeah, it's agile. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, most of them have dual sensor ports.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
The Agiles do. None of the other AccuVance motors do.
The Fledge does not.
Yeah.
Oh, does it? Oh, jeez.
No.
The only other motors that I know that were doing that were like the old Orion motors back in the day.
Really?
Yeah.
I swear the Onisikis did it. The Fleetas did it.
Oh, motors we don't talk about?
Yeah, there's a couple other motors that did it. Oh my God. Okay,
I'm sure it's not a new thing. Like just like the McLaren Bullets. Like that's not a new thing.
Yeah. Tamiya's been doing that forever too.
Okay, Res 2 chassis.
Cool.
Is this the weird stick chassis that?
No.
No, this isn't the same one that Jake bought. What
is this thing's kind of rad looking. I like
this is like the D1 thing, huh?
Single idler, but it's offset to the side. I find that very strange.
What the heck?
Yeah.
What the heck?
I mean, but that could be as easy as, hey, I want to put something there just because.
Actually, that looks like homebrewed. That doesn't look like it's like comes that way.
No, but that
looks
is
pretty nicely machined.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a single supported idler like that. I don't obviously see these things very often, but like, is a single supported idler like that, single shear, is that common?
There's a few.
Yeah.
I mean, I know your pinion is single shear, but you have a lot of.
It's not uncommon, that's for sure.
Yeah. There's
like,
a couple
so Overdose Golem has a high mount plate where there's one that's built into it, not built in, but like you can place it there. And then the new GRK5 has like a triple idler gear system.
Yeah.
But they're not single shear. They're supported on both.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Okay.
But it's just weird though, like triple 3 idler gears that sit on top of the spur.
Battery sits vertically,
straight up and down. Yeah.
Yep. I've seen people do that with the Rhino Max.
Which one's the Rhino Max?
It's the one that has the full like sides and everything. It has.
It looks like it's got like a full core support up front.
Exactly. Yeah. And so people would put the battery kind of sideways, right up against the back bulkhead.
Okay. Yeah.
So I've seen that, and it's interesting to be.
I mean, I've seen that car just because it's cool to see different construction methods in RC, regardless of genres. So
yeah.
This one is that aluminum wheels or just look alike?
Those might be
look like aluminum wheels.
Yeah. Like little Chevron hubcaps looking things. This is crazy. What chassis is this?
It's the DES Res 2 chassis.
Wow.
These ball ends are the worst.
The clear one.
Are they overdose ball ends?
No. These are the ones that come with the kit.
Those are the ones that come with it.
Like these are the ones that came with Jake's.
They're just crap. All right.
Whatever thing that I built for Jake.
I can't tell. Is that is the aluminum raw or just clear anodized? It looks raw.
I think it's just raw. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wild.
See,
where's this company based out of?
Gotta be China.
I don't know where Tran is out of. But yeah, I would assume China. Maybe. More people need to adopt.
China's all about anodizing.
Vietnam.
That makes way more sense. I was like, that doesn't seem like China.
Yeah.
More people need to come back to this version of like active tow, just making it more accessible for like normal arms. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like that they put that idler on the motor like that though, because I can do that on my D1, so I might need to play with that.
But is there a point other than raising the motor height? That's all that I can see, right?
You can take some of the shock out of the initial, on throttle feel. I don't know. Maybe not.
Smooth it out. Maybe a little bit.
Yeah. That's a fair argument.
I can. Yeah. I'll have to try it. I have my spare one. I'll have to try it.
You got 2 of them.
Yeah. 3 now. Technically, I bought another one.
Okay. DC-10 in the house, coming from Chartison.
Looking at that Ackerman. Hell yeah, dude. I love it when the chase overtakes the lead. That's so good.
Bad. But also, wires.
Stuffing it into the shock. That is so sick.
That is a lot of wires going on.
Wires are awful.
Yeah.
What are you guys using for soldering irons? I'd like to feel special for a minute.
It depends. If I'm at work, I use a Hako T88 or whatever, the FM one. Okay. At home, I use a Pine-Sol.
I use one of the really old Hako sets. One of the super basic ones.
Like the blue with the...
Yep. It came with the stickers.
Yeah, I know the one.
Yeah.
I bought this setup station in like 2010, or the soldering station, and it comes with a heat gun all mounted into it. It's just dual switches. Just turn them on, turn them off, whatever, set your temps, and and it works. It works so good.
I bought the Thermaltronics setup that A-Main carries. And I swear, if you've ever wanted to feel like it's the difference between like an RTR and going to like a high-end RC.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
It will change your world for like
that's how my work Hako is. It's disgustingly good.
It's absolutely insane. I think it was like a $400 soldering iron, but
$414.
Yeah.
But it was the most it's like a whole different thing. It's not even like soldering anymore. It's like,
Nope. Yeah, the Hako I have at work, I can use dual irons or like micro pencils, all that stuff.
It's so wild.
Yeah, it's really worth it.
That pen that you have, Lance, though, is so good though too.
The little Pine-Sol, yeah. It's such a good travel one.
For what it is, it's insane.
It's dumb for what it is, and for what $40, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
But it's mainly for like field soldering, like for drone stuff.
Is it kind of like the TS100s or the TS80 styles?
Yes, same tips.
Yep, I've got a couple of those.
Yeah. They're great for portability.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, to be able to plug a 4S LiPo into it and just go to town is fantastic.
Yeah, great.
Sorry, I'm just running through these. We're almost to the end.
The RMX.
Yeah, RMX.
This is Blazed Black Sheep.
Now the battery again.
Yeah,
Wild high. Oh, that one's got a custom tray. It looks like.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Printed tray, slide back and forth.
And just wild high, just for.
That's
Just
not even that high.
Yeah,
That's not that high.
No,
That's
that's
like
like
mid-high.
standard. Just put it on the top deck.
Mid height. Okay.
Yeah.
So at one point in time, I had one of my like mini chassis
above
where
the
the
motor.
battery literally was sitting right underneath the top of the body.
The body.
But
Like,
like
it
you
was
guys are all about like
sick.
interiors and cool. Like
Oh,
how do
no.
you
No.
how do you
No, we don't have
deal?
interiors.
No.
Very, very few of us actually have interiors.
Or like
No.
interior details. Like sometimes there's like an interior
a
cage or
Yeah.
a rear view mirror. How are you guys okay with this battery just being like chilling in the middle of the cabin?
We tint the crap out of the
Scale,
window.
dude.
Yeah. I mean, if I I just like those are the things I'm just like, how? Like,
Because we're after the dynamic scale.
Yeah.
You know, when they're moving.
right.
Yeah, that's the thing. Get the battery up high. That'll create
And then
the
you
car to
get the-
roll over.
Yeah. So then you get the good shots of it coming around a corner,
Yeah.
right?
It's
Yeah.
fun when you actually have to like let the car like load the
Mhm.
suspension, and then like before you transition, like throw the weight back over, and then let it settle, and then get back on throttle. Like it's
Yeah.
just totally different.
I just like, oh, look at that wiring. I like that. Oh, he did like the zip. He did the
He
old
did a zip
school.
tie one,
Yeah, the
he
old
did.
school V8
Yeah.
spark plug wire zip tie
Yeah,
trick.
yeah.
I
Whose
love
chassis
it.
is this? Is it Vittorio's?
This is Ben.
Ben.
That's been.
Oh. Okay.
That's a good GRK.
Yeah, that's clean.
Yeah, I like
think
that wire.
He just got this. He was telling me about this actually.
Nice.
Very clean. Good
In
job,
purple,
Ben.
too.
All the purples.
Okay, so
I think that's
GRK isn't that's that high end brand, right? Like the
Shibata.
Shibata.
The new
Yep.
high-end brand.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, is that a plastic center brace?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is
This
yeah.
is
This
plastic.
is the GS2. It's their older chassis.
Yeah, this is the
Okay.
old chassis.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. So and they have a number. Do they have like different models at a time, or they just have the new, and then the next new thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
They just do one
Well-
at a time.
Well,
It's
no, I mean, yeah, but they always have the GS2 and then whatever the new thing is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is kind of like this is like $150 chassis. They just continue to make it because it's a really popular chassis.
Okay.
And almost everything that
Now,
they
what
make
is
on
the
it.
actual chassis plate on this? It looks like more like a
It's a tub.
It's a tub.
a tub.
It's the
Okay.
fans, yeah, because this is old like all-wheel drive counter steer.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and then they just adapted it to be rear-wheel
Oh.
drive.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, but it's based
Totally.
off of that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But like GRK has only like really come up into the popularity
last
this
couple
last
years.
year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
The GRK5 kind of blew everyone away with how good it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, people that got their GRKs for like $1,300, man, you got lucky.
I'm so lucky.
You got lucky.
So lucky.
Okay, last one. Marcos 88. Looks like
What
another
is
kaiju.
that?
It's,
It's
another
another
kaiju.
Oh, it's another one of the.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
kaiju,
Yeah.
yeah.
RDX Kaiju with a RDX transmission. Looks like it.
I think I'm the only one. Oh, okay, I'm sure I'm not the only one, but I feel like the only one that has like a completely different front and rear.
So far.
Well, no,
No
Justin
one-
Justin Wilming is RDX rear and Shark.
That's
Shark
fair.
Track front.
Now, what do you mean by that?
Like the steering setup is the like say Yokomo, and then the rear end is like Shibata.
Yeah.
Using different companies front and rear.
So, do you just go on their site and you buy the front end parts that you need and the rear end part, the chassis front end and the chassis rear end, and then put your parts from the other platforms on it?
If
Yeah,
some
that's-
companies sell them
yeah.
individually, you can just hunt them down and build the transmission out or build the front end out.
Well,
But some,
well,
right,
some
but like you have-
companies-
for kaiju specifically, right?
Yeah.
Configuring your kaiju order.
Yeah, that.
Oh,
So
yeah, yeah.
right now, you message Kevin.
And tell them what you want. Because how do you make a website that does that?
Yeah, that'd be difficult.
Terrifying.
Well, not really. Just drop downs, pick it, and there you go. Move on. Front, rear, done.
Kind of, but
That's tough to manage.
not that would. Yeah, that's it's a cool. Oh, that's probably my internet being fun.
A little bit.
I like the body.
You would like the body, Jake. Like
it's not bad.
S15, the pink thing going on. Like
I don't like the checkered flag, but other than that, it's pretty good.
Wasn't your email something S15?
Not me.
No.
It's just my name.
Yeah.
What number is he? 77? Is that 77?
77 of 77 of 100.
Sold 77 of them?
Well, you can take numbers too, right?
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if he was doing specific numbers.
Yeah. I would have done it by order.
So how much ballasting are people doing? Like I see the brass at the front of this.
It depends on what you want. A lot of people like ST 3.0, like that whole generation of chassis is like 70-30 to the rear.
Yeah.
Now,
too much.
Like with GALM and GRK5 like coming back into the scene, it's like 65-35, a little bit more like 68 maybe.
Yeah, that's where my new GRK is sitting at, is like 35-65.
Yeah, that's how most of my chassis are, 65-35. That's like the perfect balance.
Ideal is saying 60-40.
60-40? Yo, man, let's try it.
All right. I think we did it, guys.
Not very many this week. It's been slow, but that's an interesting spur here.
Well, I think we all got kind of caught up on the Uncrustables battle here. Which
Unacceptable.
Strawberry wins.
Yo, the boys.
66-34. That's going to be our new weight bias, you guys.
34.
And it'll all be based off of this Uncrustables poll.
66-34. Actually, I'm good with that. I'm very good with that.
Yeah, that's not too far away. I'm okay with that.
I'm probably going to end up with that when I put my new trans on. So yeah. We'll be good.
All right, you guys, it is past 9. Hey, Josh, do you have any shout outs that you want to throw out there?
Yeah. Thanks to the guys at Rolling Garage, and they're the people who have been, if there's anything that's helped me, it's been them. So, and Vittorio for talking me into actually giving this
trying it again.
Yeah.
Are you going to stick with it for a bit longer this time?
I mean, it's already been longer. So
we're good. Time for a break.
But yeah, that's I'm having fun with it. It's am I ever going to be able to spend as much time with it as I do crawling? I highly doubt. Being that's also my full-time job.
Yeah.
But hopefully I can continue to have some projects that are, if it's not, I always have to have a project. If I can be project oriented, then I'll stay dedicated. So that's where I'm at. But thank you guys for inviting me. It was a good time. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Good. Thanks for coming on. Do you hang out for a little bit after the stream ends? That way we can just do a quick little roundup.
Sure.
But for everyone else, Lance, do you have any shout outs? Jake, do you have any shout outs?
No, just everybody up in the Northwest, go to PDX. PDX needs more people.
Yeah, we have a competition on Saturday, so come up and you can win some money. Drift Federation round 1. So
yep,
there you go.
All that jazz, because I didn't do calendar events today.
Quick question for Josh: will you make it up to the Pacific Northwest for any crawl events anytime soon?
I hope to be up there in July, I think. July or August. I've got some good friends that are up in the Olympia area.
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
So
I was gonna say, isn't Bigfoot in July?
I don't know.
I think it is.
Yeah. But anyways, cool.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for hanging out with us for the evening. Just for a preview. Oh, I don't even need to look. We've got Afro and Joey coming on next week.
Heck yeah.
So Jake's going to be on here.
I'll be back.
And we're going to talk to kind of one of the legends of RC Drift. So it'll be interesting taking that another nostalgia road all the way back in time.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. I'm going to end it. We will see you next week. Later.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.